Hey guys, happy Saturday. Today in our Back to Basics lesson, we are going to talk about using essential oils. We're going to talk about the 3 different applications, and we're going to kind of be interjecting some oil safety while we're at it. Pretty much, there's 3 ways to use oils. The first way, you see it here, it's aromatically. And aromatic use is really one of the most common, right? You put it in a diffuser. You might mix it in, put it with some baking soda and put it on your rug and then wait and vacuum it up as a deodorizer. You might use it on your dryer balls. You might use it, just open the bottle and smell, right? There's so many ways and there's so many benefits. It can, really all the benefits, just all the benefits. It helps open airways. It helps boost your mood. It helps clean the air. It helps just a lot. There's also, for aromatic, there's also jewelry, and some of the jewelry is either like lava beads or it's like these little felt pads that you can like insert into a keychain or a necklace or whatever, and you put the oil on. I was going to open it, but it's being really silly. You put the oil on it, and then it like, you can add more oil or whatever every couple of hours, and you can just, or not, every couple of days, and you just apply to the thing, and it's then on your jewelry or it's in a keychain, and you can smell it. That's especially good for like mood boosts, or to help, calm, or if you're feeling anxious, or things with your emotions, right? So many different ways to use oils aromatically. The next way that people often use it is topically. Now, the biggest thing with topical oil use is that you always want to use a carrier oil. This is fractionated coconut oil. This is my favorite carrier oil, but there are other carrier oils as well, like almond oil, jojoba, Jojoba, oil, sweet almond oil. The list is extensive. Grapeseed oil. It's an extensive list. Anyways, so that is another, you always want to use a carrier oil because it helps reduce desensitization. It also helps with absorption of the essential oil into your system because it gives it more time to get into your system before it evaporates off your skin. So it's always a good idea to use fractionated coconut oil. Another thing to remember when we're using oils topically is we never, ever, ever want to put oils in our eyes, in our ears, or up our nose, okay? Eyes, ears, nose, never, okay? There's just different things that are extra sensitive there and nerve endings, and we just don't ever want to put our oils there. So don't. Another thing you want to remember about topical use is we want to be careful of certain oils, especially photosensitive oils. Bergamot can be photosensitive, citrus oils in general, orange, lemon, grapefruit, and there's a couple of others out there, and I will share more about that another time. But we want to be careful about these photosensitive oils. And with that, it is important that we are aware of which ones are photosensitive, or we look it up in our books or in our resources or whatever. But it's really important that we are aware of that. Really, the biggest thing with photosensitive oils, especially as it gets nice outside, is just remembering to use A, fractionated coconut oil, and B, if it's an oil you're not sure about, just don't put it like straight all over your face. Instead, put it underneath where your shirt covers, right? Making sure it's where the shirt is going to cover that area of skin because we don't want to expose ourselves. Typically, photosensitive oils just cause your skin to be a little bit more sensitive to the sun. I mean, think about it with lemon, right? I mean, how many times growing up, we can lighten our hair or whatever by adding lemon to our hair. And it sometimes does work. And it's just one of those things that it does naturally attracts the sunlight, I guess. I don't totally understand the science behind that, but I know it does. So we want to be extra careful with that. Another thing is, so we use oils topically, and I got right into safety, but we might put them in a roller bottle. And I don't know why I didn't grab a roller bottle. And we can make our own blends then, right? We can put what we want in it. We add fractionated coconut oil, and then it's ready to go. It's ready to apply. This is not one of the good ones. This is a plastic. I don't like the plastic lid as much. doTERRA sells really nice ones. Oh, this is just On Guard. It's On Guard and fractionated coconut oil. But yeah, so it's like really easy to apply them to the bottom of our feet, to our spines, to our pulse points, behind our ears. Sometimes I won't even put them on the outside of my ear, on the back of our necks, feet, legs, all over the place. And that's really just ways to get those oils into our system, and it's really a great way. The bottom of my feet is my favorite for ones that I don't like the smell of. If I don't like the smell, they go on my feet, because then I can hide it underneath some socks. And things like that. So it's just a great way. It gets right into our bloodstream, goes through our pores, into our body, and it just gets right down to it, and it works really well. Internally. Now I'm going to say, unless you are 150% sure your oils are pure, 150% sure, if you have even one iota of doubt, don't take them internally. Just don't do it. But if you are like, I'm 150% sure my doTERRA oils are pure. And because of that, I feel comfortable taking them internally. I take them in my Tri-Ease capsule, which is a capsule pre-made capsule that has lemon, lavender, pepper in it that helps with my seasonal allergies. I take it in my vitamins. I use On Guard Plus capsules almost every day to help myself stay healthier and keep my immune system boosted. I might take some in some water. If there's something extra coming on, I might even take some Melaleuca and put some on my finger, put it on my tongue. Especially, it tastes not pleasant, but especially if I feel like my neck or my throat is starting to feel sore, then I might use that to help with that. I could also have made a roller and put it on the outside of my neck, right? But internal use has a lot of good benefits as well. But again, we want to make super sure that these are pure for that. And you might be asking, how do you know if you want to take them internally or apply them topically? I would say typically I apply them topically or aromatically, unless there's a specific recipe or protocol that I'm using that calls for internal use, or I'm using a capsule. So it just depends. And I have books and apps, and I have a list of those that I can share with you guys later, but like Modern Essentials, Essential Life, those are two of my favorites. There's also Oil Magic. There's a lot of great resources out there that tell us how to use our oils, and those are actually really critical to knowing whether or not oils can be used internally. So in the States, we actually are able to label things, I don't know if he says, with a supplement label if they are allowed to be taken internally, right? Whereas eucalyptus does not have that label, okay? And it actually tells me right on the bottle, 1 drop for internal, take it in 4 fluid ounces of water or liquid, or like a shot of water, right? So like there are ways to take these internally. If they call for that, you can. I actually this is pink pepper. I actually put this in my diffuser almost every night. I love this one for my respiratory airways. Tea tree oil, like whatever, we want to look and see if it has that. Tea tree oil is actually one that recently changed. It was called Melaleuca, and now it's called tea tree, and our labeling changed with it. Now, I have heard multiple things from doTERRA themselves saying the oil has not changed. And it's one of those ones that used to say, oh yeah, you can take it internally right on the label, and now it doesn't, and it really confused me. So I'm personally still taking it internally, just knowing what I know over all these years, but I would never want to recommend that to you unless you felt comfortable with that. But one of the things that I also know is in the States, we have this labeling, but if you go to Canada or some other places, it actually is all labeled not for internal use, even though we know we can use some of this internally. And they do that, as a way to comply with governmental standards. And I appreciate that about doTERRA. They're willing to follow the governmental standards of the region that they're in, which is why it's so critical to have a good tool, like a book or an app that tells you whether or not that is safe for internal use, as long as you know it's pure. And I just thought that was an interesting thing, how labeling differs from place to place. And so that's really internal use in a nutshell. So tell me, what's one thing you learned? What's one thing you'd like to know? What's a topic while I'm doing this series that you'd like to learn about? Comment below. Let me know. Talk to you guys later. Bye.